Hey there, you're listening to Movies Not Music, the bi-weekly Waves on the Shore series, in which I lead Evan through the world of the film industry. We're glad to have you here today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode.
We're not biased, we just don't like bad music.
Welcome. That was all.
What? Why was that that was your idea? Was playing Gandalf Pack?
Welcome everybody to M&M, where we're talking about a movie again, and we got Gandalf Pack. Yes, sir. Bro, listeners are just dying right now. Did you hear my seat bouncing and Gandalf Pack? The viewers know where it's at.
This episode's gonna get like copyright stricken.
If it does, just cut that.
It probably won't. Honestly. We'll probably.
It's free promotion for Gandalf Pack.
But yeah, welcome to Eminem episode. Oh gosh, y'all
18?
are driving me crazy.
18.
Expecting me to remember things.
It's episode 18.
I think it is. I think 17 was last episode.
Wait, yeah, that is how it works. If it's 18.
Well, I was saying I think because like it could have been 16, so that would mean this one is 17, but I'm pretty sure it was 17. We're gonna say it's 18.
Episode 18 of Eminem. And we are finishing the John Carney trilogy. I'll let you take it away.
Well, yeah, it is the end of... We actually happened to do these in the order that they released, which was not intentional, but that's just what we did. Because once was 2006 or 7?
Yeah.
It was 7, I think. And then Begin Again was 2014. And then Sing Street was 2016. Now, the thing that I think is worth noting about all three of these movies is that while they are dramas that have like this kind of central common thread of like music and musicians and stuff, they're all pretty different. And I think they all kind of have different things to say, you know? And they all take place in different time periods. The first two, Once and Begin Again, were filmed like in the present day at the time of like when they were filmed, but Sing Street takes place in the 1980s, I believe, right?
Yep.
So last time I watched this movie was over the summer, actually while I was on vacation at the beach. I watched it with my sister and my mom and a few of my other relatives. That was probably like my third time watching it. And every time I watch it, I'm like, that was a good movie. I do think it's probably... I think I like it about the same as Once, maybe a little bit less. And I think that the reason I say that is because I think the music in this movie is fun, but it feels like a kid made it. But that's the point.
That's the point. Definitely the least, like... of the three movies, when it comes to soundtrack, like, I have legitimately gone back to songs from both the Once and Begin Again soundtrack, just listening to in my everyday life.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm going to revisit
I don't.
soundtrack from this one, just because it's
agree.
not really... But, like, and when they're all so based around music, that does play a factor, but I still think I still enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Definitely had some warming up to do. Like at first I was not completely sold, but I definitely
They're very much leaning into like the
stereotypes.
The cheesy 80s, and they're kids, you know?
It's very like playing into a lot of different stereotypes, and sometimes I think it sort of becomes like, not hard to believe, but it's like, okay,
Sure.
There's the angry private school principal. There's the bully with the buzz cut who has a rough home life. There, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of got a little bit of... But
yeah, it's maybe exaggerated a little bit, actually, but given where they are in the time period, it's actually...
That's the thing. It's very believable, even if it's very not believable at times.
Sure.
Well, not that it's never not believable.
I think it's a tad bit... Some things might be just a little...
cheesy.
Like, maybe it probably wouldn't have happened exactly like that. But I think it's still a fairly grounded movie. But I think that still kind of plays into the idea of, and I'll get to the synopsis here in a second so that we can kind of
actually talk about the movie.
Yeah, we should actually explain what we're talking about. But, it's from the perspective of a kid, or kids, plural. And so in a lot of ways, it kind of makes sense that maybe some of the things that we're witnessing are maybe romanticized. Like, in a way that, like, maybe
Kids
it's not
kinda...
exactly how it happened, but kids tend to do that. Like, and we remember, our brains, we trick ourselves sometimes. Like
Dude,
given long
when did you
enough,
turn into a psychologist? This is actually so true and cool.
we think about things that happen like I'm actually pretty intelligent, Evan. You'll find that out.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still
like
waiting to see
7 or 8
more,
years ago.
But glimmers. I'm seeing glimmers.
Right. No, well, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. So like we'll think about stuff that happened in our past.
On the list of intelligences. You've passed a hippo.
Oh,
You're past a hippopotamus.
I'm not too elephant yet though. Elephants are still okay.
Well, we still have to overcome like sewer rat first, but actually they're smart.
Hey yo.
You're still working on turtle. Keep going.
Okay. But the whole idea of like, especially when you're younger, but like things
your brain
happen to
does
us,
hype stuff up a lot.
Like, yeah, your brain, we remember things and as time goes on, we start to think there's kind of the details start to get fuzzy, and it's like, well, did it happen that way or did it happen this way? And so I think it's kind of something that could maybe be happening here. It's obviously it's not like a weird trippy movie or anything, but I mean it's told from the perspective of a kid, so that just kind of makes sense. But the kind of plot of this movie is it's pretty
set
fun.
in rough economic Ireland.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Yeah. The economy's not in a great place. Our main character's name is Connor. He is starting at a new school. His parents are not doing well interpersonally. And he's just kind of like, he's resentful of a lot of things, and the only person he really feels like he can come to is his brother. His older brother is a G. He's got his older brother is in his corner. He like has freshly graduated high school, so he's kind of like, that happened like 2 years ago. So he's kind of like the, hey, you'll be all right, just get through it. He's very much like the coaching him through life kind of situation here. And Connor loves music and rock music, and his parents have sent him to a private Christian all boys school
because they can't afford the other school. I think it's Catholic. Yeah.
I mean, either way, it's some kind of Christian denomination. And he hates it because there's a teacher who's a piece of garbage.
It's the principal. It's the main principal.
And it's the principal, yeah. And he kind of starts to rebel and come into his own through music. And one thing that kind of acts as the big catalyst is he sees this girl outside of his school after like his first day at this school, and her name is, oh crap, it starts with an R. Help me out. Do you remember? Do I need to look it up? It's like weird name.
It's R. There's a PH. Not Rufine.
It's Rafina.
Rafina.
It's a very like not common name. Rafina, and he's like, damn, that girl is hot. And he tries to kind of like over the course of this movie, it's about two things. His courtship with this girl who has her own kind of toxic things going on in her life, and he just wants her to like him. And then he's also got the band, and I love the band so much. You got the twins, and you got the dude who plays all the instruments. And he like I forget his name. Is it Eamon?
Yeah,
Eamon's a G. And they just start like, the music starts off not that great, and they just start practicing more and more, and then they start like playing, and it's just this really fun. It's a coming of age story. It's about Connor coming into his own and becoming brave enough to do things. And I think it's a similar sentiment to, I think, all of John Carney's movies kind of have this thing about
underdog
underdog stuff, believing in yourself. It's kind of about persevering. And I actually think Once and Sing Street actually kind of have a similar ending, because they both Like they go to I think they both actually go to London at the end of both of those movies. Do they go to London at the end of this one, or is it just?
Yeah, they're on their way.
They're on
a boat to London.
But their plan is to go to London, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's their plan is to just make music, and like that's the thing. And I think it's really, after talking about,
because the thing about London is
Yeah.
like the reason they want to go to London is because Ireland, the economy, it's trash. There's nothing in
Ireland's
Ireland.
just not a great, yeah.
Anyone who wants to be anything is moving to England. Everyone's moving to
Yeah.
England.
Yeah. And
So it's a
London
big
is
deal. Yeah, it's a big deal when Connor moves to London because he's moving basically towards a hopeful future.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay, so let's backpedal a little bit. What do you think of the music? We'll just like go full on and talk about the music first.
I mean, it's like 80s rock inspired pop
Yeah.
rock punk thing. I think as far as it being performed by like 15-year-olds,
Yeah.
does the
I
trick.
think it's
It's
I think
not
it's really fun.
It's not bad, even especially
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm forgetting, but the one song that he does where he's playing the guitar and Eamon's just on the piano, and it's super chill, and they write it at Eamon's house, and I forget which one it is, so it's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a vibe. Kind of like that one. What do you think?
So where I find myself with the soundtrack in this movie is there's never really like a song like in Once you have oh crap, of course I'm gonna act like I know.
Falling Slowly, or which one are you looking for?
It's falling. Is it Falling Slowly?
The
It's
main
Falling
one?
Slowly, yeah. Bro, I know things and then I just can't remember anything. You have Falling Slowly, and then you have Lost Stars and Begin Again. But in this one, I feel like there's not like that
big
song.
main.
Out of all of them, there is a song that they do called "Drive It Like You Stole It,"
I'd say that is sort of the pinnacle of the song.
which is probably the pinnacle, but it doesn't reach the heights that that Falling
nowhere
Slowly
near.
or Lost Stars does. But that being said, kind of like what I was saying earlier, I feel like you probably should kind of put it into perspective a little bit, because if for some reason these songs were just incredibly good, it would be like, it would just feel a little bit weird, because it's like, well, these
They
are
have to
like
be a little
14,
rough.
15-year-old kids in high school, and they're just making music with like not super expensive gear, and like given all of that, it sounds really good, you know, and it's the 80s, so
Yeah. Everything's
so,
on like tape recorders and stuff.
yeah, and so the sound is a victim of that. But yeah, Drive It Like You Stole It is a fun time, I would say. But I like, within the context of the movie, I really enjoy the music. I like how sometimes it's kind of naive, and I love the scene where the scenes where they film the music videos are so good.
Yeah, those are my favorite parts.
Yeah, and because it reminds me of doing I remember when I was really young, I had some friends that I would hang out and we'd film like stupid videos
Yeah.
and just have fun, you know? It reminds me of,
That's what it is. It brought me right back to that as well.
yeah.
So I love those scenes.
Yeah, brought me back when I was a kid, because you know how old we are.
Dude, we're talking like back in the 50s for Jaron. Bro, he's
Yeah.
prehistoric.
One thing, well, we can talk about his relationship with Rafina a little bit, because I think it's a big part, because a lot of
It's odd.
it's odd for a few valid reasons, I think, and you get the sense when you first meet her that there's something going on. So one, she's an orphan. She lives in like I don't know if she technically,
A girl's home.
And she's like seeing this. She like has a boyfriend when he first meets Rafina, when Connor first meets Rafina, and he's like very clearly like probably like 5 years older than her.
Yeah.
At least.
It's a weird relationship.
And it's like it's one of those relationships where you're like, this is probably not good for her. and he's probably a piece of crap. And I
Yeah.
think at one point we see her, and I think she has like a black eye or something, right?
Mhm.
And so like
bruised cheek.
a bruised cheek, that's what it is. And so the thing about Rafina is that she wants to be like a model. She wants to be a famous actress or whatever. And he wants to be a famous musician. And she kind of gives off when at first she tries to act like she's like this all she's like big stuff, you know, it's like she's a really big deal even though she's really not. And she like kind of blows off Connor a little bit, but I think she starts to come around on him and realize that he's like actually a good person. And I actually really like her arc because she goes from being a pretty self-centered and vain, but in a lot of ways you can't blame her because she has...
Yeah, I was going to say understandably so.
But she's had a pretty sucky life, you know?
As most of these kids in the band have.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it interesting.
Yeah, and so a lot of the driving force behind Connor wanting to do what he's doing is he's trying to impress her, and he found out she was a model, so she's like acting in all of their music videos, and it's just a really fun, almost naive sometimes, just a really fun coming of age story. I really like the scene where they perform at the school dance or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a really good part. And they like do
that
they like
final scene with that song and the masks and everything.
They pull the prank with the masks on the principal, right?
Yeah, they're all wearing masks with the principal's face on it as like a diss towards them at the end.
It's a really good movie. Like I don't know what else to say. It's not like I think Begin Again and Once have more to say, but maybe
this one's fun. It's easy to get behind the characters.
I think I don't know. I don't even know if they necessarily have more to say, because I think this one's just a little bit more different than the other two.
Yeah,
just
I think once a Begin Again, maybe what they're trying to say, the sentiments aren't as plainly put. You're left to kind of put some pieces together, and it's not like we were saying with Begin Again and Once. They're kind of, or more with Once, it's kind of like a slice of life, like a look into someone's life, and then Begin Again, there's more of a plot, but it also is a look into someone's life, whereas like Sing Street is very much movie, here's your characters, here's the setting, here's what's going on, here's what brings them together, this happens, drives them here, this is the end, and they live happily ever after on their way to London. So
well, that's actually, they don't literally live happily ever after. I think if anything,
no, it ends very.
Yeah, if anything, I think that they don't. Actually, because I think while Begin Again was I think a big focus of Begin Again was about like coming into your own and being independent and believing in yourself and stuff. There's definitely some of that stuff with Sing Street, but I think a lot of it, I mean, this movie's about growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a part of that is sometimes things don't always work out. So, and I think they always kind of I think that's being alluded to throughout the whole movie, where like Connor and Rafina are doing this thing together, and the whole time you're like, does she like him? Like, what's really going on? And I think the whole time it's like, well, maybe they'll date, but maybe they won't. Maybe it won't last, And we never find out.
Can I be honest? And this bugs me, man.
What?
Bugs me. Why, like, when there's all these scenes with Rafina and Connor, and I'm just like, dude, Rafina is so blatantly out of his league.
Oh, tough.
I'm like, I'm struggling to believe.
Look,
she's giving this man a chance.
Dude.
You're really making me buy this one, Carney.
Don't do that to my boy Carney. I mean, sorry, not Carney. Connor. Okay?
Connor. Dude, it's when the hair is super long and just back here, and I'm like, my man, you look like a New York sewer rat.
Okay, but to
What's going on?
To be fair, it's the 80s, so most people don't look that great.
Fair.
Also, I have witnessed this, and I feel like we've talked about this before, maybe even on the podcast, but like sometimes girls just kind of date guys
Wanda too.
because they're like, even when they're not like studs, you know?
The thing is, I'm saying this as if like dating's all about looks. It's not. I'm just saying
No, it
like,
is. It is.
It's funny because like, you know, I do like to poke fun at it because she's so out of his league, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and also Connor's an awkward guy in this movie.
Well, that's what that's. I think that's what the thing is.
That's
That's kind of
part
what makes
the
him
point.
charming. Like it's
Fair. He's got the
a lot of
the charming riz.
a lot of
but,
girls
like,
see awkward guys and go, "Oh, he's so cute."
fair, that's what he's got going for him.
Yeah.
But
Play into that, Connor. King.
sorry, I was
put-
just like, dude.
Chin up, King. Here's your crown. Evan took it away from you, but I'll give it back. But yeah, so, John Carney's next film is supposed to come out this year, and it's a Bee Gees biopic.
Right, you were saying.
And I find John Carney fascinating to me because, so he did his first movie 2007 once. His next movie doesn't come out for like 7 years. That's in 2014. And then he does Sing Street 2 years later. Like, that's a pretty quick turnaround. And
For a
now,
movie, yeah,
and he hasn't done a movie since
2016.
it's been 7 years again. So it's like, he's like low key, maybe, he's not my favorite director, but he's probably like number 2 or number 3.
Who's
Just-
number one?
Number 1 would be Matt Reeves.
Have we watched a Matt Reeves movie?
No, and I'll get into that in a second. I want to finish this thought, and then I can maybe
Yeah.
I can maybe explain who he is. He's very interesting. I have touched on this in a prior episode, but I love his fascination with music. He writes. He was the only director on all 3 of these movies. He was a writer. I think on the first 2 he was the solo writer. I think in Sing Street he had a co-writer for this script. Or actually, well, yeah, I think I saw that he had a co-writer when I was looking at the stuff for it on IMDb. And just, I can tell, the one thing about these movies is they all have passion behind them. I think, there's
Very
a lot of
much
movies
so, yeah.
there's a lot of movies that you see, they're just kind of like junk food. They're just like, whatever. You watch it and you're like, like, it was all right. Like, the first movie I had to watch ever was The Holiday. And while I, an enjoyer of bad and good rom-coms alike, probably enjoyed that movie, you definitely did not. I'm like, you just didn't. Like, am I correct in saying that?
You would be correct.
Yeah, so my point is that, like, his movies have substance, I feel like. And there are a lot of movies out in the ether that have little to no substance. So, even though this might be our least favorite John Carney movie, it's still a solid fun time.
Still a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make my review as you talk.
Oh,
I'm trying
okay.
to make it what my review should be. But keep speaking.
While you do that, I'm going to explain to the viewers and to you who Matt Reeves is. Matt Reeves is my favorite director for a few different reasons, and I kind of came to this conclusion that he's my favorite director over the past, like, 2 years. So he did, he finished off the new, like, the newer Planet of the Apes movies, and, like, I'm sure you've probably heard of the Planet of the Apes movies, and you're like, movies about talking monkeys, that can't be that good. And the old movies, like the original, like, there's like 6 original movies or something like that. They're kind of cheesy. They're like people in monkey suits, and so it's just kind of like weird. These newer movies have like amazing, like, CGI, and like the monkeys look real, but that's not the point. But this is how I kind of describe it simply, so I don't ramble, to people who have never seen the movies. If you can get me to care about a monkey more than I care about Captain Marvel, then you're doing something right. Like, there was a moment at the end of the third. There's 3 Planet of the Apes movies. Matt Reeves directed the last 2. The last 2 are easily, like, the better ones, the first one's still good. It's just the point is that Matt Reeves is an amazing director because he made he's directing a trilogy, or he's finishing off a trilogy of movies where the main character is a monkey. Like,
takes a bit of
like it, and it. I think I will probably actually have us watch these movies because I think they're amazing, like genuinely, like incredible. The first time I saw the third one in theaters, I cried at the end of it. Like I wasn't like sobbing, but I teared up, like just a little.
It was
like,
there. There
yeah.
was some leakage.
Yeah, there was a little bit of the waterworks were going a little bit.
The pipe was loose.
He also directed the newest Batman movie, which spawned all those memes. But the newest Batman movie
all
is a
the
heater.
something in the way.
Something's in the way.
Dude, my friend fully just embraced the Batman culture. It's been so funny. Like we make I've mentioned this before, but we make a playlist every month. And his March playlist is just like Demon Time Batman. It's in his January playlist, which is also the Demon Time thing. He'll literally just be posting like 3-second videos of like Batman standing on a rooftop watching over the city with something in the way in the background, and the caption will just be like, "Bro is me for real." Like that's just all he does now. All of his stories on Instagram are just pictures and videos of Batman and him saying quite literally me. Like,
look, okay, so I don't think you've seen the newest Batman movie.
No.
But it is like
I've never seen a Batman movie.
It is quite possibly.
Ah, that's a lie. I've seen one.
Okay, which one have you seen? Do you remember?
Nope.
Okay. Was it one of the ones where? Was it one of the ones where he talks like this, and he's got his mouth like this?
Let me see.
It's hard to. They all kind of sound similar, but it's Was it The Dark Knight?
Well, yeah, they're not gonna hire someone to go
Joker in
like,
it?
"Hey guys, I'm Batman." Like,
well, whatever. I didn't do that great, but my throat's a little sore because we've been talking so much and I'm out of water. So, well, anyway, I'll continue my Matt Reeves spiel. So, he's done a lot of different things. Like, he's done horror, action, drama, all this kind of stuff. He did a movie called Cloverfield, which is this, like, found footage film. It's technically found footage horror, and it's like... So, like, you know how you got monster movies, like Godzilla would be a monster movie, or like King Kong would maybe be one. So we took that idea with this movie called Cloverfield, but he turned it into like a horror movie because it's told from the perspective of like in any other movie, like there's those people that you see in the background that are running away on the street. It's from like he like chooses like 3 people, like it's like those people are the main characters. Like, you're not following the military guys, you're following the 3 normal people that are just like, they don't know what's happening and they're just running around scared, and it's and it's all being told from this camera because the events that are taking place are happening on the night of a party that's taking place. Anyway, I won't get super into it, but it's a really good found footage horror film. It's not like horror in the same sense that there's not like demons and like nobody's getting possessed or anything, but there's a monster and things happen. And I would actually love to go through Matt Reeves.
We are not watching horror movies.
Yeah, we are. We'll do it in person.
I won't partake.
Remember we said that we were
in person, yes, because I will cling to you for dear life.
When we
like for dear life.
So
don't care.
Yeah.
Shamelessly, I will just grab you.
So we'll do. I'll say this. We'll do Cloverfield and we'll do A Quiet Place because we talked about doing A Quiet Place. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes.
We're not doing that.
Yes, we are, man. Yes, we are. Anyway, so A Cloverfield is an amazing movie. I will say A Quiet Place is definitely scarier than Cloverfield. Cloverfield is scary.
It doesn't matter, bro. I got scared by the opening scene of the Bond movie.
That's true.
It doesn't matter. There's no ranking. There's just scary and not scary. And it doesn't take a lot to be scary.
This is okay. But I'm gonna pitch...
Dog, I was getting worried watching Glass Onion. Okay? I was starting to get worried. When the lights went out, and they're chasing each other, I was kind of getting nervous.
Okay, let me pitch...
I was pulling the blanket up to my eyes a little bit.
Let me pitch Cloverfield to you a little bit.
I don't know if I want the pitch. I feel like
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
get
no, no.
spooked.
I want to. So, you know how like some albums are like really deep and have like these hidden kind of like almost like if you start looking into it, there's like more stuff kind of going
Yeah.
on. Like, like you could maybe take. You can maybe take. Is it Folklore? Folklore is the one
Yep.
that has like there's like the 3 songs that are actually kind of
Yep.
telling a story. So, Cloverfield at its surface is a movie that is like. It's like, yeah, it's just a found footage monster film. These people are just trying to survive what's happening.
What do you mean by found footage?
It's literally a found footage movie. It looks like it's filmed on a recorder. So like it's like not like there's not like different shots. It's all just like somebody's holding a camcorder, and that's what you're watching. Does that make sense?
That's terrifying.
Kind of, but let me just okay. So there's at its surface, it's a monster movie. These people are trying to survive. But behind the scenes, there's actually like more going on that you can kind of piece together. Do you know what I think it was called an ARG? But basically, when Cloverfield came out, before it had come out, it had this like online marketing thing, and it was a very early 2000s thing because the internet's changed a lot, smartphone, like the world's changed a lot. But back in the day, this was a really cool thing because like they released a bunch of this online stuff, like it's like stuff to promote the movie, and it was very mysterious, and it was saying stuff about like this company and like kind of like sketchy things going on, and it's hinting at like I don't know, it's just a really cool. Like a lot of work and thought and effort got put into like that like world building of that universe. And I think you could appreciate that. But I wouldn't want to spoil any of what that is until you see the movie. So I just want to put that
I'm
out
high
there.
key gonna like call the U.S. government to like revoke your passport so I don't have to watch a horror movie.
Bruh. All right, whatever, man. Okay. And then Matt Reeves is just, he can do it all. And every movie, anything, if he's a producer on something or if he directs something, it's just good. Like the Batman was amazing, and the Planet of the Apes trilogy is amazing, and Cloverfield is amazing. And he has one movie that I haven't seen. It's called Let Me In. And that one is actually a horror movie that you probably wouldn't want to watch because it's like about vampires and stuff like that. But apparently it's really good. It's about this little kid that
I feel like I'm better with like. Actually,
What?
no, because it's all just gonna be scary. Never mind. There is
What?
no better.
What's all gonna be scary?
Nah, never mind.
No, tell me.
I was gonna say if I like vampires, but then I thought, oh, it's gonna be like
No.
legit, real person, scary vampires.
Yeah, it's not like Dracula vampires. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like scary. I won't get into that, but he's just really awesome. I'll stop ranting about. Or not ranting. I'll stop praising Matt Reeves, but I love him, man. I really like him. When they announced that he was doing the new Batman movie, I was like, it's going to be a banger. Like I just knew it. Like there wasn't a doubt in my mind. Like I just knew. I was like, it's not going to be bad. It won't be bad because Matt Reeves is not an idiot. Like you could give him anything and he'd make a good movie, honestly. What would I give Sing Street?
7 is where I'm landing.
7 out of 10. Well, I think. Yeah, so you gave it a 3.5.
What do you think of my review?
And you gave Beginning it a 4.5. And I'll check your review in a second. I also gave Beginning it a 4.5. I'll probably do the same for Sing Street. Honestly. Let me look at your review. Lil David Bowie got some pipes, high key. I actually kind of want
Mini
to.
Bowie.
I want to look through the review. You should. I know you don't really get on Letterboxd except for when we like do these episodes. But like going to a movie and looking through the reviews can be pretty funny. Because yesterday I watched Roadhouse with my buddy Keaton, and we didn't realize how much nudity was in that movie. Like, there's just a lot. There's like a lot of boobs, like just a lot. And somebody wrote this like entire
Isn't
like.
Conor McGregor redoing Roadhouse?
Is he? I don't know.
What's the plot of Roadhouse?
It's basically this bouncer he's just really good at doing his job, and this owner at a bar in like I think it's like Kansas or something like that, is like, hey, I need you at my place so that you can help me like clean it up, like help me whip it into shape, basically, and that's the general premise, and he makes some enemies in the process, basically. I actually really liked it, but there was a decent amount of unnecessary nudity. Like they were just like really horny while they were making that movie. But still pretty good.
Conor McGregor to co-star with Jake Gyllenhaal in Roadhouse reboot.
Really? Jake
Told you. Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah, because they were like filming scenes at a UFC event.
Wait.
Did you not see the videos like Jake Gyllenhaal?
I did see those
UFC?
videos, but why would they be filming a Roadhouse reboot? Like,
it's clearly a very different Roadhouse idea.
I guess like that literally
is not the movie.
I don't know why they'd be Roadhouse. What do you about that? That's wild. Why is he?
Do you review much on Letterboxd?
What do you mean?
Like type reviews?
Oh yeah. Here.
How do I see those?
Well, go to my profile, like click on me, and then go to my activity, and you should be able to like see if I like, cause like if I go to you, and I go to more activity, I can see all of your reviews.
This was some damn good soup, Jaron says.
Yeah, I say that a lot. If I liked a movie and don't really know what to say, I'll say pretty good soup or damn good
Theo
soup.
Vaughn, regular people. So I guess we'll see, you know?
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't understand that unless you watched it. He makes a joke about, this is the joke that he makes. He goes, so, my cousin got bit by a gay guy.
Ah, I've seen that.
And then he just stands there in silence for like 10 seconds, and then he goes, so I guess we'll see, you know?
I've seen that clip.
Yeah. It was definitely the best joke from that. So my review of your name, I said this was some damn good soup. I really like the movie 65 I saw in theaters 2 weeks ago with my buddy Austin, and it's a dinosaur movie with Adam Driver, and the newest Jurassic Park movie came out last summer, and it wasn't very good, and I liked this movie more. So my review of it was literally just the title of the last Jurassic Park movie. So my review says 3 stars, Jurassic World Dominion. That's just what it says.
As Jaron do.
My review of the Lorax, I thought Justin Timberlake was in this movie. I was wrong.
I saw that one.
Casablanca. Lola, she was a showgirl. That has nothing to do with Casablanca. Like, that's just... that's just not... I was watching Casablanca, and I kept getting reminded of, like... I forget what that's from, but it's just not from Casablanca. But I thought it was funny, so I put it. My Ant-Man and the Wasp review just says dick. And that's partially because that's kind of how I feel about that movie, but also they make like a bunch of dick jokes and they're not funny. And so
it just sucks.
And then in The Revenant, the meat was raw was my review. But yeah, we can kind of wrap up this episode. I didn't actually review Sing Street. I got distracted by looking at my reviews. I'm probably also gonna do 3.5 stars. It's a good time. It's just fun.
We're putting in the hustle tonight.
I would add it to the list of good family movies. Good times.
Yeah.
While John Carney's like other 2 movies have a little bit more cursing, I think this one's a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
and in a family setting. But yeah, that's
It's 12:19. We're some sleepy
yeah.
boys.
Who knows what
It's
the
past
next
our
movie that
bedtime.
we'll do? It is 12:20 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm sweaty.
What movie should we do next?
Do you want to choose one?
Part of me does, but I don't know. Like,
You don't know what you would choose because like you don't watch good movies unless I tell you to.
pretty much. Like, what movies do I even know?
Have you seen Cars?
Part of me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen Cars.
What if we did Cars though?
Do you want to actually?
I
I'm
like
so down.
I like Cars.
I'm so down to do Cars. I'm gonna watch it again.
I know. I don't usually watch the movies in preparation because I've usually already seen the movies that we cover like 5 times.
I've seen Cars so many times,
But
I'm still gonna watch it.
I've
back.
also seen Cars a lot, but I haven't seen it in like 10 years. So I will rewatch it.
I feel like I forget why, but I feel like I've seen it semi recently, like in the last 5 years. But I just remember exactly how that movie goes. But I'm so down to like do it.
We'll do Cars. We'll just do Cars for no particular
get
reason.
ready, viewers, because it's gonna be a good
also,
episode.
just John Mayer. We're gonna talk about the soundtrack in this movie. Honestly, a banger soundtrack in Cars. Like, I don't know. Have you heard John Mayer do Route 66? Like, it's the 8-minute version.
Oh,
of Route
actually,
66.
wait, no.
John Mayer is on the soundtrack of this movie, and maybe you shouldn't look it up. Maybe you should experience it in the movie.
I'm gonna listen to it now.
Oh, okay.
No. Like when I watch the movie, and I'm like, oh shoot, because I never way back I wouldn't have known that was John Mayer.
might
When
watch
I'm gonna
Cars
the movie,
tonight.
like, hey yo,
I might mess around and watch Cars at 1 a.m.
I'm going to bed. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, viewers, just so you know, I'm not working this week. I'm on my spring break, so
Jaron's available.
it's currently almost 12:30 a.m. Yeah, if any eligible
Young
honeys, no, not young boys. No, you can stay away from me. Stay away from me. Any
That's why he
eligible
works with
honeys
them.
over the age of 18.
Or good-looking young boys between
No,
12 and 14.
No. Oh my god. All right, this episode should have ended a while ago. This is
Adios,
what,
folks.
we'll see ya. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Movies Not Music. If you feel inclined, leave a comment and a review. And if you'd like to connect with us, you can find us both on Instagram, @TheWavesOnTheShore, and at our personal accounts, @TheOvershore and @JepWatts.